So I'm not gonna make this a big, long, drawn out hoopla or whatever, because I'm sure by the time this goes up, there'll be a bajillion articles and videos about what happened. But at the same time, I did want to chime in on this because I feel like certain things need to be said, and I want to say them. So here we go. So if you don't know, which I'm sure you do by now, especially by the title of this video, the biggest YouTuber in the world once again is in trouble for being a dumbass. This is something that I expect from him, but I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. Basically, Pewdiepie was streaming something. Here, just watch it. Just watch this.
One behind the orange car.
What? What the fuck's happening?
What the hell was that? The potato was fucking insane. I was holding it so fucking straight.
What a fucking nigger. Jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck? What a fucking asshole. I don't mean that in a bad way. Jesus fuck. Why would he do that? Legit, why would he do that?
So yeah, he was streaming, said that, and then tried to play it off like it was no big deal. But if you watch the video, you can see that the way he says it so reflexively that he obviously says this a lot. He even goes on to say that he forgot that he was streaming, which implies that when he's off camera, this is the kind of vocabulary that he uses. This word is in his vocabulary. And I'm not going to say, even I can say I'm a black person, but I'm not going to say it just because if I say it, then people are going to be all like, you know, oh, it's okay if you can say whatever. And I don't need that discussion today. This is not what this is about. This is about the fact that for the second time in a year, actually within a 7-month span, his behavior is putting YouTubers in peril. Because last time this happened, some people will say he wasn't the main cause or whatever, but he was definitely a factor for the adpocalypse situation, which was advertisers pulling out of YouTube at a frightening speed, people making less and less money than they normally would, and just all around bad situation. YouTube had to crack down on things. Now there's new guidelines and certain videos won't be monetized or not fully monetized because they're not advertiser friendly and all sort of stuff, okay? And we're still recovering from that. And then this happens again. And this time I feel like it's worse because there's even a game developer from Camposanto, the guys who made Firewatch, launching a DMCA against him. And my thing is, they have the right to do that because if we're being really honest, it's not like Let's Play videos are protected by fair use or anything really. It's just game companies decide not to do anything. But if they wanted to, they could just DMCA all of our stuff and it'd be completely okay. But it's setting up a precedent now where he does something stupid. He won't really suffer for it because he has millions of dollars and he has a huge sycophantic fan base that will absolve him of all wrongdoings all the time as long as he apologizes. You can't see him kind of air quotes, but his apologies are bullshit. But nothing happens to him, but things will happen to everyone else. And I just think it's kind of messed up that he's going to skate on this because he did this before. He does this. This is what he does. And he never learns. He doesn't change. He never learns. He just waits. And then you wait a couple months and it happens again. Like, if you look at the history of his channel, this has always been a thing. Now he's just much more popular. Clearly, now he has like 57 million subs. But he always does this. And people keep defending him. And my real issue with this whole thing is, of course, I'm upset that he even said the word. But I'm more upset at the fact that so many people are defending him. Like, so many people are rushing to his aid, trying to make it seem like it's like another one of those, oh, it's just the mainstream media taking it out of context. And no, this isn't the anti-Semitic thing, which I still think you're dumb for that too, because you could have did a better way to show that how crazy that Fiverr website is than to say death to all Jews. Like, that's not funny. And in fact, he's once said himself that he thought it was a funny meme, meaning he thinks death to all Jews memes are funny, and that he didn't know the reaction to get would be that bad and whatever. But it's not like he was like, oh, it's bad to say death to all Jews. He just thought, oh, I guess it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean? Like, in his brain, it's not like this is right or wrong. It's just plain, this is not a funny. Anyways, to the current situation, he says it, and then people come and defend him. And they're defending him like crazy. They're defending him as if he had a gun to his head and had to say it. Mind you, he's playing a video game and unprovoked says that. I play video games. You guys play video games. Tons of people play video games. Tons of people get angry. You don't just let stuff like that slip out. Like, I've never been so angry that I just started yelling in Mandarin. I don't know Mandarin. You know, I've never spoken Mandarin in my life. I don't think I've even heard Mandarin. It wouldn't just pop into my mind and me just start saying it. You know, it has to be something that I say, something that I know, something I say frequently enough to where I don't even think about it. It's reflexive. Like, if I got mad and I was like, God damn it, that's reflexive because I say God damn it a lot. If you watch my videos, you probably know that. I'm sure other people have their go-to swear words too. But it's telling that if your go-to is a racial slur, that means you say that slur enough for your brain to just have it like saved in there. It's kind of like if you were typing on your phone and your phone just automatically like fills in the blank and it says like a certain word. It's because you use that so often, your phone's predicting it. Your brain is predicting this because you say it so often. He's not even ashamed that he said it. He was just upset that he said it on camera. He said it live. It's not like he was like, oh man, I can't believe I said that word. It's like, oh man, I can't believe I said that while streaming. Because if I wasn't streaming, I would say that. Because once again, he did say that he forgot he was streaming, which once again implies that had he not been streaming, he would be talking like that. And the people who were defending him, their defense is like, it's just a word. But words are never just words. Like, that's such a intellectually dishonest thing to say. If you tell someone you love them, that means something. That has meaning. It's not just a word. If you are married and your significant other cheats on you with someone else, and what's their excuse going to be? Oh, well, I know we're married, but marriage is just a word. I know I'm your wife, but wife is just a word. I know I'm your husband, but husband is just a word. Like, oh, I know I told you I'd do this, but words are just words and have no meaning. Like, you can't do that. You don't pick and choose words that have meaning or not. Especially racial slurs. Racial slurs were never a word that was created that got twisted something negative. They were always meant to be negative. Especially the N-word. Like, black people, my people, black people, you know, took that and turned it to something that we use within our own community to address our people. But it's not like the word itself originates from something that was good. That was meant to demean black people, to be derogatory. That word has weight. It has history. History that's still current because we have Nazis with tiki torches parading down these streets. You know, like, it's not like it's something so far removed. We only got rights in like the 60s. That's not that long ago. So for people to try to act like it's just a word, I'm like, that's such a cop-out. And for the other people who are trying to be like, oh, well, what about these other slurs? You know, like the F word for gay people, or like the T word for transsexual people, or, you know, the K word for Jewish people, or the, you know, the C word for Asian people. Those aren't okay either. Hell, I didn't even say those words. Those aren't fine either. People are capable of worrying about a multitude of things at one time. Just because people are upset over the N-word doesn't mean we're saying you can say the other words but not the N-words. You shouldn't say those other words either, because all those words have history and weight and are offensive to those groups of people. And if those groups of people decide within their community that they want to be able to say it, they have all the rights, all the power to say that. Those outside the community, those who were not necessarily beneficiaries of it, but perpetrators of that derogatory term, do not get to dictate what marginalized groups do, or marginalized groups how they react. You as an outsider don't get to tell people how to feel. If I stab you with a knife, you don't get to, you know, I don't get to tell you it doesn't hurt. It's not up to me to decide if it hurts or not. You know, like that's just such a it's just so frustrating. Like, these are not new concepts. These are not new ideas. These things have been around for a long time. People know these are racial slurs. Once again, he said it in anger, which is not an excuse, but he said it in anger. And people are trying to say, oh, well, he didn't mean it to be offensive or malicious. Yes, he did. If you watch the video, he very clearly intentionally meant that to be offensive, because when he quote unquote corrected himself, he called that guy an asshole, which again is the derogatory. You don't say you're an asshole in a good way. It's like, you're an asshole. So he knew that. He tried to step it down from the N-words to an asshole, but that still lets you know that he meant that maliciously. He meant that to be hurtful. And that was his go-to, was a derogatory comment about black people. And people who are defending that, there is no defense. This is indefensible. This is either you saying that it's pretty much this, okay? It's pretty simple. You either condone racism or you don't. That's it. That's what that statement is. If he just says, effing, I can't believe you're an effing N-word, or what an effing N-word. There's no context there. There's no, oh, but he didn't say it to a black person. First off, the person he's playing against is computer avatars. You don't know the person controlling that person was a black person. So you can't even say he wasn't saying it to a black person. Secondly, it doesn't matter. Even if the person wasn't black, it doesn't matter who he was saying it to. It's the word itself. Because I'm sorry if you guys watch other YouTubers who are like, oh, you know, you can diffuse the power, like iDubbbz or whatever, who has no authority on this subject whatsoever. Please stop bringing him up. They don't get to decide if a word has power or not, or if they get to diffuse it or whatever. It's not up to them, okay? Words hurt, obviously, and words have meaning. If words didn't have meaning, we wouldn't have words. Words have meaning. People understand this meaning. If you were to have a swastika out, even if the swastika originally meant something good, we all know what the connotation of swastika is. That's why we go places like in Germany, that's just not allowed because they know the connotation of it. So for people to be like, oh, well, he didn't mean it in a bad way. Or my favorite is, oh, he didn't know. He's 27 years old, okay? He's not a child. Oh, he's Swedish. Yeah, but he lives in the UK. And again, he's 27 years old. This isn't his first time saying the N-word either. This isn't his first time getting in controversy. He's not an idiot, or he might be an idiot, but he's not ignorant of the fact that these are bad words. He says these on purpose. Whether it is to on his video for Shock Value, where I think is super cheap, or in his free time. He says these words. He knows what these words mean. And if anything, because he's not American, that makes it even worse because he wouldn't even know these words unless he was growing up in America. That's a lot of people are saying. But he still knows these words. So he knows what it means. Because it's not like it originated like someplace in Sweden. The N-word originated in America and it went all around the world, obviously. But that means he knows. Like he didn't learn that in his ESL classes growing up in Sweden. He learned that here. And he knows what that means. And he chooses to say that. Because to him, everything is just a joke. People don't matter. Feelings don't matter. And I know people are going to be, oh, I'm such an SJW color. Oh my God, your feelings. And whatever. Going by your logic, those words don't mean shit. So why even say it? God, this turned into a way longer rant than I wanted to be. I was trying to make a short thing. But this is just super infuriating because it's like, why? Like, why is that even part of your vocabulary? Like, yeah, I played video games since I was growing up. Like, I played video games my whole life, basically. And yes, I know everyone's default is, you know, if you go online, you play, you know, PUBG or any kind of competitive game, you're going to hear shit. And yeah, you're going to hear shit, but goddamn, what are you, a 5? Like, do you repeat everything you hear? You don't know how to parse good and bad information? Like, you don't know how to remove toxic or bad things from your vocabulary or your life? Like, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. I grew up playing video games. I heard a bunch of terrible shit that when I was younger, like, put it this way, okay, when I was growing up, when I lived in Los Angeles, when I was growing up, I was told that the F word, you know, for use to gay people, meant something different. I was told that meant a person who hits women. So I thought, well, I don't want to be one of those things, and to be one of those things is bad. But as I got older and found out that no, it's actually a derogatory term used against homosexuals, and it has a very storied history, it's a very painful history, I completely stopped saying that word. Completely. Same thing with the R word. Same thing with the T word for transsexual people, or transgender people, I should say. I didn't know that was even a bad word until someone online was like, hey, that's kind of a bad word, and I stopped it. And it's easy to stop it. Like, people want to be so edgy and like, oh, it's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech only protects you from the government. Freedom of speech basically means that the government cannot come down on you for speaking ill of the government. It does not protect you from private citizens. So for people to be like, oh, you can say the N-word, it should be fine, freedom of speech. No. And I'll finish this off with this. If the N-word is just a word, I have two questions for you. If it's just a word, A, why is it that most people refer to it, especially most non-black people refer to it as the N-word? And B, if it's just a word, then why are people so pressed to say that one word?